What's going on, guys? Rob from Heroes Avenue, and I'm here to talk more Aquaman with you guys because we have our first wave of reactions coming in. Apparently there was some screening along the West Coast, and some fans took to the internet to voice their reactions. And I was under the impression that these first screenings were going to be people were going to be bound to a non-disclosure agreement, but as you know, people cannot help themselves, and they put this stuff on the internet for people like us who will devour this content right away. So it looks like everything is looking very positive for this Aquaman movie. I've tried to keep my own expectations for this movie relatively grounded, though I am, I am starting to turn up the hype, and I can't deny that I'm really excited for this movie. But at the same time, I'm trying to keep my expectations kind of low because we have been burned in the past by, obviously, for me, myself, Justice League, Suicide Squad. So we will see what the movie does for us. But until then, we have these first reactions. So again, this first one is coming from a Reddit user, and his name is Max Bourne, and it says, "I cannot confirm or deny that I've seen this movie, but if I had, I would probably say that it's certainly going to be their most well-received movie yet. Its tone closely parallels Ant-Man and the Wasp and Thor Ragnarok, and this movie will be liked by the biggest audience, although it will probably suffer from some criticism that it deviates heavily from the original tone of the DCEU to more closely resemble the MCU. But again, I reiterate, this would only be my opinion, and if I had to somehow already seen this movie in an advanced screening, which I am not saying I have done." So this guy, in a very underhanded way, says, gives his pretty much his reaction and very, very, very short, non-spoilery review of the movie. Thor Ragnarok and Ant-Man and the Wasp, I guess those are not bad movies to compare them to. I thoroughly enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Thor Ragnarok as well, though it wasn't the type of movie I was looking for in a Thor movie. It certainly was a hit with audiences, so I guess this is a good parallel. It's a good parallel for this Aquaman movie, though I gotta say, the comparison to Marvel is something probably the higher-ups wanted. I tend to agree with the late director of the DCU movie, Zack Snyder, in thinking that DC should be doing its own thing and not trying to copy the Marvel template, because Marvel is doing an incredible job doing their own thing, and to try to copy and emulate what they've done and the precedent they've set, I think it just feels like DC is, in the perception of the public, DC is going to be consistently chasing what Marvel has done. So again, I wish they would be doing their own thing, and who knows, this is just how he compares it. May not actually be the case in your perception in watching the movie, but he does compare it to the MCU, or he thinks people will compare it to the MCU. But then he says he enjoyed it, and I guess he elaborates that Aquaman is better than Wonder Woman, and that Atlantis is much more fleshed out than Themyscira. And if you guys watched Wonder Woman, the Themyscira part of Wonder Woman is probably, it's my favorite part of the movie. So that's just one of those places that I wish I could explore more and get more, get more out of it from the movie. We only got a little bit of a taste, and I'm sure we'll see more of it in Wonder Woman 2, but that's one of the best parts of Wonder Woman. So the fact that Atlantis is much more fleshed out only excites me even more. And then he further elaborates that Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who is Black Manta, and Patrick Wilson as Orm are some of the best comic book villains and are far better than Wonder Woman's Ares. And guys, Ares looked super cool in that image when he's putting all that armor together in Wonder Woman, but you cannot deny that Ares as a character was pretty disappointing in Wonder Woman. Again, I liked Wonder Woman. I just think that Ares, they did not do Ares the character justice. I don't know. So I'm really glad to see that this guy enjoys Black Manta and Orm, because again, if you read the storyline or read the comics, the New 52 run, the Jeff Johns run, or if you've watched the animated movie, Orm is insane, and and that latest picture of Orm in the posters that I just kind of reviewed and talked about in my last video, if that's any indication of what this guy can bring, just that still image of him shouting, I'm super excited for that. And of course, Black Manta, man. I can't wait for Black Manta to be on screen, and I can't wait to see how they flesh out his character. Alright, so Twitter users now say, I can say I have seen Aquaman. I can't talk about the details, but I can tell you it's a major achievement in filmmaking and storytelling. It's a display that Walter Hamada is doing a great job, and it's evidence that James should direct more DC movies. Considering what happened with Justice League, it's a major turnaround for this franchise. It has a mixture of levity and depth that truly is Star Wars underwater. So, I mean, I'm glad this guy likes it, and he calls it a major achievement in filmmaking. Obviously, we've never seen a movie like this, this scale underwater. So I am really excited to see how James Wan is going to give us his vision of Atlantis. And Walter Hamada doing his job. I'm not sure if we actually know that Walter Hamada had anything to do with this, because I think, if I'm not correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think Walter Hamada was brought on after the fact that James Wan already started principal photography with this movie. I might be wrong. That's just off the top of my head. But Star Wars underwater, sure, I'll take it. I also got the sense of an Indiana Jones type movie during the second trailer, so I'm excited for that. Another guy, at Carl's on, Aquaman is my top DC movie now. You heard it here first. First to watch it on the West Coast. And he's saying that from Burbank, California. Okay, and here's one so-so review that came out at Amon Bars. So, about Aquaman, a reaction from Final Film. It's pretty good, not groundbreaking, but solid. Action is good, story is alright, CGI is decent, score is meh, Mira/Arthur are hit and miss, overall a good film. Keep in mind one person's opinion does not reflect how the movie will be received. However, having spoken to 3 other people who have seen it, this seems to be the general consensus, maybe a bit more positive than this one. He goes on. Saw a couple of reactions floating around about Aquaman. Tweets will be soon deleted because of NDA. It looks like people really enjoyed it, more than the reaction I heard. Hope more continue to come in. So this guy is kind of the opposite. Says it's not groundbreaking. Action is good. Story is alright. CGI is decent. I kind of commented that on my previous video. So we'll have to see. Again, this is a tremendous undertaking for CGI. You know, I can't imagine how hard it is for VFX artists to do what they're doing for this movie. Score is meh, and that is disappointing to me because, as you know, and as I always say on my videos, Hans Zimmer set the tone, and Zack Snyder obviously, but Hans Zimmer set the tone with the score of Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman with Junkie XL, because he created this incredible theme with Man of Steel. My favorite theme of all time for any superhero. He reinvented the Batman theme, which DCEU doesn't seem to be using anymore, and obviously the Wonder Woman theme. Oh man, so powerful. So, you know, I'm wondering what Aquaman's theme is going to sound like. Danny Elfman said he put kind of a theme for Aquaman in the Justice League movie. If there was one, I tried listening for it several times. I couldn't hear it. I definitely liked the Flash theme he made, but I didn't hear any Aquaman theme. So if he did put a little, you know, a little skeleton of a theme in there, I didn't hear it. So I'm really hoping the score is better than meh. And Mara and Arthur hit miss, and I could maybe see that happening because I gotta say, love Jason Momoa, love him as a person and a social media presence, the guy he seemed that I imagined him to be. Love him as Aquaman, has perfect presence for Aquaman. Doesn't seem like the greatest actor in the world. He was Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. Didn't require a lot of talking, but doesn't seem like the greatest actor. I haven't seen too much of him outside of Justice League and what he's done in the DC universe and Game of Thrones. So hopefully it's not. Hopefully I enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoy it too. But there's one of those so-so reactions. So we're soon probably going to get more actual reviews and reactions from critics. So stay tuned to that. I'll definitely cover that stuff too. But I'm happy these fans are liking it. So that definitely bodes well for our spirits right now. So let me know what you guys think. How hyped are you after seeing these reactions online? What is your favorite DCEU movie so far? Let's see if Aquaman tops it. Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like if you can. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.